Good morning. Today I am going on a bicycle ride a little bit later in the morning because it is my day off, and I've already been to the sports club and I've had breakfast, and now it is such a lovely cool day without any smoke. So I just said, okay, I'm still going to go on a little bike ride here and make another video. And I'm going to talk about something that I had wanted to talk about before, but it never actually came about. And so this is really about the invitation that I give to you to come and join me, in this what I'm doing here. Yeah, and I'm not saying that you should come with me and ride your bicycle next to me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying come with me and have embodied language with me. I'm inviting you. I am. And I have been wondering actually for a long time. I've been wondering for a long time, where are you? Why aren't you coming? Why aren't you responding? What is not clear to you about my invitation that you haven't responded yet? I mean, don't you hear me? Don't you feel... Good morning. Don't you feel at all what I'm saying? What kind of a stubborn, stuck person are you? That you still want to go on with your stupid, disembodied language, and that you don't want to join me in what I have here, embodied language, which is enjoyable, which is intelligent, which is sensitive, which is meaningful, which is interesting. Yeah. Why aren't you joining me? I mean, consider your stupid conversation that you have every day with all the people that you talk with. Yeah? And I mean, I don't mean this to insult you. I'm simply calling it what it is. You engage in stupid conversation. And I call it stupid because you cannot be yourself in that conversation. You are not yourself. You are superficial. You are defensive. You are arrogant. You are pretentious. You're phony. That is stupid. Because you are just like me, a real person, and a real person wants to have real communication. And I know very well that although you don't have it and although you don't respond to me, you want to have embodied language, even when you don't admit it. Even when you say, oh no, I'm okay, I'm doing fine. No, you're not doing fine. You are suffering. You are troubled. You are messed up. And there's no way for you to ever experience any improvement or any kind of, what shall I say? Something better, something more positive, something more enjoyable if you don't change the way in which you deal with your language. Yeah. Am I making myself clear? I invite you to have embodied language with me. Embodied language in which you listen to yourself, in which I listen to myself, in which we listen to ourselves. Now, that's when we're really talking. That's when we become genuine. Actually, we don't become genuine. That's when we are genuine. We cannot be genuine if we do not listen to ourselves. We can only pretend to be real, pretend to be authentic, pretend to be meaningful. All these things. Pretend to be important. It is just so pathetic. Yeah? So don't be offended when I say that you're stupid, because you are stupid. You've been missing out on this your whole life. And I'm inviting you. I've been inviting you my whole life, basically. Yeah? I may have not always been as emphatic or as clear or as elaborate or as precise about it as I am today, but I've always actually wanted this. And anybody who has known me knows this. And yet you have always chickened out. You have always let me down. You have always rejected me. You have always avoided me. And why? Because you are afraid of this? Because you are afraid of this? What I'm here? What I'm representing? You're foolish. And you are miserable, yeah? Because if you don't have this, you cannot be happy. Your happiness depends on, whether you are yourself. How can you be happy if you're not yourself? And if you do not even know who you are, because you cannot know who you are as long as you are just acting out of your history of conditioning with your disembodied language. Disembodied language isn't giving you anything. Disembodied language is a habit which has ruined your life. Yeah? And embodied language, what I'm talking about, is a different way of dealing with language, because now you're listening to yourself. Now you're going to say, oh, of course I can listen to myself. Yeah. Of course I want that. Yes, of course. He's right. And of course, if I listen to myself, I have a different experience. Yes, of course. Of course. And of course I couldn't feel this before because I wasn't listening to myself. Yeah, of course. All these things are true. They've always been true. And you've always been in denial of it. Yeah? I mean, do you hear me? Do you see me? Here, I come really close. It's really not so difficult, you know? And it is so pleasant to have embodied language. It is so revealing, so relieving. So what is stopping you? It is 2024. Yeah? Come and have that conversation with me. Get in touch with me. And no, I am not giving a seminar. No, I'm not giving a session. No, I'm not teaching you anything. No, I'm not a guru. No, I am not a teacher. No, this is not psychology. No. This is not religion. No. This is just me enjoying my embodied language and me talking with you out there. You haven't talked with me. You haven't had this conversation with me. And if you have, you know, why have you stopped? I don't get it. You've stopped it. And I have noticed that you stopped it. And that's why I say, okay, the hell with it. If you stop it, then I'm going to stop it too. I'm not going to continue if you don't continue. So I'm not going to, carry your load. I'm not going to do for you what you need to do for yourself. You need to take care of your own stupid disembodied language, yes. And you need to, for yourself, decide like, okay, that is something that I know now. That is something that I am tired of now. That is something that I don't want anymore. That is something that has never worked for me. That is something that has always troubled me. Yeah, that is true. That is true. It has always troubled you. And you can admit that to yourself, and when you do, it stops. When you do, it stops, but you gotta do it. I cannot do it. And you gotta do it before you talk with me, because I'm not gonna do it for you. I'm not gonna sit with you and hold your hand while you are still struggling to stop your own stupid disembodied language. No, you gotta do this by yourself, all alone. Yes. That's being responsible. That's being honorable. That's being realistic. That's what is necessary. Because I'm not going to sit there and have disembodied language with you. I'm going to have embodied language with you. My invitation is not to have disembodied language with you. No, my invitation is to have embodied language with you. Yes. So, yeah, there are how do you say that? Expectations. Yes, I have expectations of you. I have expectations of you that you stop your own disembodied language. And these expectations are justified because I don't want to have disembodied language with you. It's just like when you invite friends over for dinner. Do you want them to, to set your house on fire? Do you want them to, to destroy your furniture or something, or to, spray paint your front door or something like that with graffiti? I don't know, I'm just saying. Of course you don't want that. Yeah, somebody that comes to visit you in your house, you cook them dinner, you invite them for dinner, you want them to behave properly, right? Well, same with me. I just want you to behave properly, and you are misbehaving as long as you engage in disembodied language. Yes, disembodied language is a disgraceful behavior. It is really terrible that you haven't dealt with it already. Yeah, it is also disembodied language like this leaf blower. It is really noisy. It is noisy and it is ugly. It is nasty. And yeah, this leaf blower, it blew all kind of dust in the air. Oh my God, I got it in my eyes. Okay, I guess I gotta stop here for the traffic light. Make sure, okay, I can go. Yeah, it is ugly, it is nasty. Disembodied language, it is messy, it is dirty. It is tricky. It never ever does us any good. And yet that is how you have continued until now. And I'm letting you know that no, I am only going to get along with you if you have embodied language with me. That is what my promise is to you. Yeah. And so this is not for me to make money. I'm not asking any money. This is not for me to create a community. No, I'm not creating a community. This is not for me to, to be admired by you. I don't care about your admiration. I want you to listen to yourself. I want you to have embodied language with me. That's all I want. Can you hear me? Can you feel what I'm saying? Yeah, it is so simple. And once we have that requirement fulfilled, yeah, that expectation fulfilled, I know it is an expectation, and I know you're freaking out just about just imagine that someone has expectations about you. Yes, I have expectations about you. I have expectations about you that you are going to be fine. You are going to be able to stop your stupid disembodied language. I'm sure you can. I am absolutely sure you can. If I've been able to do it, you can do it. So you just got to do it. And yes, you are going to be able to have embodied language with me. Believe me, it is possible. It is possible. And I'm not trying to convince you, because that's not what this is about either. If there's any convincing to be done, it is to be done by you. You have to convince yourself that you can do this. Yeah. And of course, in the end, it is not about you convincing yourself either. Because once you really stop your disembodied language, once you say to yourself, oh, wait, he is saying that when I don't listen to myself, then I'm not in touch with myself. Oh, when I am not listening to myself, then my language, then my language kind of seems to not really work for me. Oh yeah. So yeah, then I'm kind of trapped by my language somehow. Yeah. But when I speak with myself and listen to myself, then I feel, yeah, something settles in me. Oh, is that what he means? Okay, so when I'm troubled and when I'm struggling and we're talking about the same old problems, the same old negativity, so that's what he means. That is disembodied language. So all the problem talk is basically disembodied language. Oh yeah. It's all negative, yeah. Something is always wrong and something is always missing and there's always a problem and it sounds dreadful and it sounds demanding and it sucks and oh yeah. And that's when I don't listen to myself. Oh wow, and now I know, because it stops and now I am listening to myself. Oh, I already feel better. Not having addressed or even solved any of my problems, I'm just feeling better because I'm listening to myself. Do you hear me? Can you understand me? Of course you can understand me. And it is not about understanding me, it's about understanding yourself. What I'm saying is not about understanding me, it is about you understanding yourself, right? You having that conversation with yourself in which you understand yourself. What is that conversation? What does it sound like? Yeah? What are you saying when you are understanding yourself? When you are at ease with yourself? When you like yourself? When you want to hear more about yourself? When is that ever happening? That happens when you engage in embodied language. Yeah, that happens when you listen to yourself while you speak and you hear me do it, and you would hear yourself do it if you did what I do. Yeah, it's just as simple as that. It's not difficult. It's just fantastic. Once you do it, you suddenly realize like, oh man, this is really cool. I can do it. Yes, there's all these things that you've done which you couldn't do, and you're used to doing those types of things. It's very odd that you are trying to do the impossible, but you're not doing the possible. This is possible. And so once you do this, you find out like, oh my gosh, I've been trying to achieve the impossible, and now I am achieving the possible with my own language. Yeah. Now, okay. So you have stopped your own disembodied language, yes, and you have acknowledge that not listening to yourself while you speak, that is out. That's no longer valid. That is something that you have done, but you don't want to do that anymore. You don't want to not listen to yourself. You have had enough of that. And you want to do what it takes to listen to yourself. What does it take? Well, it takes you to notice that out of habit you lose track of yourself and you don't listen to yourself, and then you catch yourself and you say, oh wait, I can listen to myself. Yes, you can. And you can go back again to listening to yourself when you have forgotten to listen to yourself. So yeah, you got to do this again and again and again, and many times, and you just got to enjoy doing that, to listen to yourself and say, oh my gosh, I can still catch myself. And in spite of everything that has happened, because you have gone through nothing but stress and anxiety and fear and anger and frustration, you have gone through all this negative rigmarole. Yeah, you've been so used to all this dreadful, problematic, troublesome stuff, traumatic stuff, and now you say, oh wait, in spite of all of that, I can still listen to myself. And then the moment I do, it stops. The moment I listen to myself, the speaker is the listener. Yes, the oneness of the speaker and the listener. Yeah. And there is, of course, no speaker who speaks. There is no listener who listens. There's just only speaking and listening, which happens simultaneously. Yeah, because you listen to yourself while you speak. So you could say there's listening, speaking, or speaking, listening, whatever you want to call it. It happens at the same time. Yeah? And you don't do anything to make that happen. It happens by itself. The moment you speak, you listen. Yeah? So it is an effortless phenomenon. An effortless phenomenon, natural. You listen to yourself, not because you're trying to listen, not because you're trying to speak with yourself and trying to get yourself to listen. No, you're listening to yourself because it just happens. It happens while you speak. You hear yourself. You can only hear yourself while you speak, right? There's only something to be heard when you produce sound. Yeah, there's no inner voice, there's no inner sound. That's all fantasy. No, it's when you speak, you produce a sound and then you can hear it. And of course you hear it if you produce that sound. But you have not been aware of your sound while you were speaking. But you have always been hearing it. And you have always also been affected by it as well, even though you've never considered this effect. And now, because you listen to yourself while you speak, you suddenly are aware of this effect. The effect of your own sound. You are having embodied language. You're listening to yourself. Yes. And yes, you have stopped your disembodied language because the way of dealing with language in which you weren't listening to yourself has stopped. Yeah, you are listening to yourself now. And so this is different. Now you can get in touch with me and then we will have embodied language together. Yeah? Are you with me? Now, I hope you are. Then get in touch with me and then we'll take it from there, okay? All right. Whoops.